This is the moment. Right now, coming out of this pandemic, there needs to be a paradigm shift, and arts, culture, and creativity, and the entire creative sector needs to be looked at as essential and as a key building block for the future, and there needs to be direct investment made in it.
As a piano trio, we're always looking for those magic pianos around the state. And this was definitely one of the first ones that was brought to our attention.
The Northeast Kingdom Classical Series has been doing programs in this church. This piano's been with us since 2007. There's many churches along this main street in St. Johnsbury, but the intimacy really is perfect for chamber music, and acoustically, it's the best place we have found.
I just wanted to say you missed the excitement. As I was tuning, one of the strings broke.
Oh.
And you don't want this to happen, but you especially don't want it to happen before a concert. This is a tuner's knot.
It's very kind of unusual to break in the middle register.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we need piano technicians. Otherwise, I can't do anything about the piano. So thank God we can play on this today. Yeah.
The Northeast Kingdom's a really interesting place. There's such a diverse strata of people. You know, we have very reasonably priced tickets. We actually offer special pricing, no questions asked, full price ticket. Exactly. To really keep this music as accessible as possible to as great a number of people as possible.
We're one of the poorest areas in the state, actually in the country. We're designated by the USDA as one of the 11th poorest areas in the country. The essence of Catamount, I would say, is far beyond just St. Johnsbury and where we're sitting here. Our footprint is 30 miles in all directions. We're one of the few organizations that present most of our live performance out in the community itself. So we're doing it at high school gymnasiums, local churches like the one we're sitting in now. For kids living in cyclical poverty, kids living, at the end of a lot of these dirt roads, if we weren't bringing the arts here, busing those kids into the theaters to see these shows, they wouldn't have that opportunity to see that. So the kids have the opportunity to dream because they're able to see other people doing it on the stage.
The arts is really a critical piece to rural communities' economic survival. We don't have the kind of manufacturing that we used to have, so we're going to have to diversify our economic base in order to be viable, and I think arts is really critical to that.
A big part of our workforce in the future and our economic development strategy is going to be based around the creative sector. When you look at young millennials, 3 of their top qualities that they look for when they look to relocate, they look for recreation, they look for a sense of community, and they look for strong creativity. Right here in the Northeast Kingdom, we kind of have that special sauce, and it's something that if we invest in properly, I think we can really make a part of our future.
Vermont was a hope that I just wanted to get away from the city. I wanted to make more sense of how humans are supposed to live on Earth. There was a moment where I think it was like a hurricane that was happening in New York, and I was thinking of all these people on an island, and if everything just shuts down, where do I get my food? And so I came to Vermont, and immediately it was getting the goats, the chickens, the turkeys, the pigs. I decided to stop playing violin, and I really enjoyed that. And I got a phone call from Vermont Symphony. We heard you're in town. Would you like to come, play on our next concert? And I remember looking at my husband like, is this what I'm doing? Am I going back on the violin thing, I really love sharing music with these people and the audiences in Vermont. You start knowing them all individually. It gave me a sense of purpose that what I was doing was actually meaning something to others. The instrument I'm using right now is a violon. Violon is a French maker from the 1850s. It's a powerhouse of an instrument. It's also an instrument I could never afford. This is a one piece of wood, absolutely gorgeous. This is the life of 160 years of living and playing. If I were to go out and buy this violon today, it's estimated at About $300,000. Yeah. I think 60 years ago, a great musician could still buy their own instrument. It's almost impossible, even for the top soloists in our world. They are investment properties at this point. They go into safes because that's what keeps them pristine and keeps them appreciating without any possible loss in value. So that instrument is most likely destined to go in a vault for the next 100 years.
During this pandemic, as a performer, you can do recordings, you can do live streams, but it's not something that can replace the live experience.
All of the technology and what we've learned through the pandemic is a great add-on, and it's going to make us better. It's a way for us to innovate, but it doesn't replace what's at the heart of what we do, which is about human connection. And if you want to get to the essence of human connection, you have to put humans together. When you have the doctor and the lawyer dancing to the same song, perhaps with the auto mechanic and the farmer, there's something that happens there that it doesn't matter if it's red or blue or any color in between. You become a part of something that maybe you can't put words to, but you sure know it when it happens. I don't know that there's any stronger force for building community than what we can create through the arts in those moments.
Well, one thing about COVID, it's really highlighted all the things that we think are important about our community. A lot of arts organizations are able to carry on because they've gotten some big donation, they've developed an endowment, and Catamount, unfortunately, does not have an endowment. We have a very tiny endowment. What we have is a mortgage. Fortunately, the state has recognized the importance of supporting arts organizations that had to shut down. Thinking about what it's going to be like post-COVID, I hope we continue to recognize the importance of supporting these organizations because they struggle constantly. None of these shows are able to support themselves. They all require sponsors. You can't sell tickets enough to pay for one of these shows.
Never enough to cover.
So public support is really important.
The fact that you have something that's so important to the heart and soul of your community, both from the standpoint of community and economy, and that you leave it up to philanthropy and donors to support it, and that you don't make public investment in it on a regular basis is just craziness. Areas like the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont that have historically been the poorest areas in the country can actually thrive if we do this right. And there is no better return on investment than fertilizing communities with arts, culture, and creativity. You can sprinkle us on the healthcare community and you're going to attract better doctors. You can sprinkle us on the manufacturing sector and you're going to attract better engineers. We are a great return on investment, and we can be sprinkled on anything and make it better and do it in a way that at the same time you get the benefits of humans connecting, breaking down social barriers, and us actually being able to live in a place that is more humanistic at its soul.